Blackhawks lose 6-3 to the Vancouver Canucks in their post trade deadline day game. Yeah, the Hawks traded away a lot of veterans this week in Connor Murphy, Jason Dickinson, and their captain Nick Foligno. Today, they got steamrolled. Yes, this young team is the youngest team in the league now by a large margin, and it showed. They look like a bunch of kids not knowing where to make a crisp pass. Connor Bedard had a good game, but he doesn't get on the board at all for his efforts. He could have had 6 goals for himself. He just got robbed on a lot of opportunities, hitting the post a couple of times, and the Vancouver goalie making big saves. Shots on goal per period, 7-7 in favor for Vancouver in the first, 6-10 in favor for the Blackhawks in the second, 9-6 in favor for Vancouver in the third. Total shots on goal, 22-23 in favor for the Blackhawks. That's not enough shots on goal for the Hawks. They played like they didn't know how to make a crisp pass. It could have been a tied game, but Landon Slager did kick a puck in the net on a Mangiapane potential first goal. Hawks power play was terrible, going 0 for 3, and Vancouver going 1 for 4. Face-off percentage, terrible for the Hawks, 32% of the draws in this one. It was a bad game. They started out poor. They didn't know what to do with the puck. Granted, they were the team to score first, but it doesn't really help when you have your backup goalie start the game not looking solid, and Arvid Soderblom tonight. Yes, Soderblom played because Spencer Knight was sick, and that doesn't help right there. So let's get into the game, shall we? First period of play, the Hawks get on the board first, a minute and 8 seconds into the game. Scored by number 8, Ryan Donato, his 14th of the season, assisted by number 91, Frank Nazar. Donato gets the puck in the neutral zone, dumps it into the offensive zone, gets it off the backboard rebound. He gets it, goes basically flying in the air, and beats the Vancouver goalie to make it a 1-0 game as he cut through and score. However, that doesn't hold, because a minute later, Drew O'Connor scores to tie the game, his 15th of the season, assisted by Will Linder and Marcus Pettersson to make it a 1-1 game. So the Hawks scored first a minute into the game, and then 2 minutes into the game, Vancouver ties it right up. Vancouver goes right back down the ice, keeping pressure going, and 27 seconds later, Jake DeBrusk scores his 14th of the season, tipping one past Soderblom, assisted by Boyu and Elias Pettersson to make it a 2-1 game at 2:32 in the first. Then the Canucks continued to press, Hawks looking lost at everything, and Teddy Bluger scores his 6th of the season, assisted by Marcus Pettersson and Sajan to make it a 3-1 game, 6 minutes and 32 seconds into the game. Soderblom looking rough. Hawks looking rough. They're letting Vancouver get into the crease and getting into the slot and leading to the goals against. At this point, you're not pulling Soderblom, even though you should, because we have the emergency backup situation going, and you can't really justify putting in basically some guy off the streets in net after this. Then the Hawks were able to start finding their game back at 12 minutes into the first period. Scored by number 95, Ilya Mikheyev, his 12th of the season, assisted by number 11, Oliver Moore, and number 59, Tyler Bertuzzi, to make it a 1-goal game now. To bring it within one, Mikheyev gets a great pass from Oliver Moore and a great setup by Bertuzzi to lead to this goal in. And then it starts to shift in the favor to the Hawks. The Hawks start peppering, getting some chances off. Bedard nearly scored. Nazar nearly scored. They don't. We go into the second period, tied up, all down by 1. Second period of play. It's remaining that same score of 3-2 after 1, but the Hawks come out, don't get a couple good looks. Vancouver does have some chances. Soderblom starting to look a little bit more locked in. Hawks get a couple power play. They don't score on it. Vancouver continues to press. Hawks get more opportunities. And late in the second period of play at 19-17, in the second period, to tie the game up, scored by number 91, Frank Nazar, his 8th of the season, assisted by number 72, Alex Vlasic, and number 95, Ilya Mikheyev. The Hawks cycle the puck. Nazar tips in a great shot from Vlasic, and we're all tied up going into the third. However, it doesn't matter. Usually, if you score a late goal in periods, it helps your momentum to go into the next. It did not. Vancouver scores on a power play 2:40 into the third period, and it was Brock Besser for his first of the night, 14th of the season, assisted by Carlson and DeBrusque to make it a 4-3 game. Hawks tried pressing to tie the game back up. They nearly scored. Mangiapane shot one on, and then it gets kicked in by Slegger, and the goal is waved off. At 18:34 now, Vancouver gets a goal. Sajan scores his 11th of the season on the empty net. Then about a minute later, at 19:44, Brock Besser shoots his 15th of the season in the empty net, assisted by Rossi and Hronek, to make it a 6-3 final. That was ugly by the Blackhawks. It was a bad game all around, and it's frustrating. I get it. You're traded away a lot of key assets of this roster, but it's time to find your game. The young Hawks need to start finding this game. But that was brutal. Down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action. Thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, that was a terrible game.